We are flying at the moment. Fourth place in chips with only 22 players left. Now, I have taken a couple of small bounties already and things are going great. Well, sort of great. This is my second bullet, but we're on for a deep run here and can make that back plus some if things carry on going my way. Now, this first hand that I'm going to show you doesn't need a lot of explaining, but it does show how the second bullet has been going for me. I open from the cutoff and it folds to the small blind. They're pretty short stacked and they decide to shove it all in. Big blind folds, and I think, well, ace 10's more than enough to call with, especially with his bounty being up for grabs. Cards are flipped, and I'm in a much better situation than I could have been because the small blind has got ace 9 off. And neither of us hit the flop, so I'm still ahead. And with it being all hearts, he's lost one of his outs too. The turn and river are clean, so I take in some more chips and another bounty. The first hand back from break now, and we're down to just 19 players, and I'm in second place, and I get dealt pocket kings. The cutoff opens and it folds to me. Now, rather than go for what will be a pretty standard raise, I decide to slow play this one. And as always, I'm praying to the poker gods that these magnets don't attract a dreaded ace on the flop. And it turns out far from it. I flop top set on king 9-8 with 2 clubs. So I check to the pre-flop raiser and they put what seems to be the standard C bet. Now, do I carry on playing it slowly here? I think I probably should, but in game, I think more and more that the board could get a lot scarier on the turn. Any club, 7, 10, jack, queen, it really could spell danger, and that's basically half the deck. Maybe it's time to raise? I go for it. I do. The cutoff snap folds. Not a big pot, but I'm trying to look positively. I'll take the easy win. It's about 10 minutes later when I get another monster. This time it's ace-king in the small blind. We're only playing 5-handed now when the cutoff shoves all in for 17 bigs. I've got 70, and with ace-king, easy, obvious call. We go heads up to the flop and we're flipping against pocket 7s. I'm not worried though, because I am running super hot. Turns out the flop didn't get the memo. It comes 8 high. The turn's a 9 and we're down to the river needing to hit. The jack of clubs is no good for me. I lose a chunk of change. Again, on the plus side, I've still got 50 bigs left though, and there's only 17 players left. Next up, we're still playing 5-handed, and I open from under the gun, or the hijack, whichever way you look at it, with king, queen of diamonds. It's a no-brainer. I only get called from the big blind, and we see a flop of queen 6-4 rainbow. So I've got top pair on a very dry board. Looks like my hot streak is back. The big blind checks it to me, and I c-bet for about half pot. They make the call, and we get the 10 of diamonds on the turn. Okay, cool. I've now got a great flush draw to go with my top pair, so I'm loving it. The big blind takes a long time to decide on what he's going to do. Eventually, they check. And with them only having just over a pot-sized bet behind, I think I've got enough hand and enough equity to want to put them all in. I do it, and oh, they snapped call. Now, that is never a good sign. They table queen 10 for that's painful, especially when you consider he's got a $22 bounty that 2 seconds ago I thought was going to be coming my way. I've still got outs though. Any king or oh, okay. That's 2 big pots I've lost when I don't think I did anything wrong. So the very next hand, I get ace 3 offsuit in the big blinds and I'm on tilt. I just snap call a raise from the button when it folds to me. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing. Now, I do hit a pair of 8s on the flop, but there's also an ace out there, which isn't nice to see. I insta-check and the button c-bets. I don't think here I could have called any quicker. The turn's an undercard to my 8s, so at least that's something, I suppose. I snap check again, the button bets again, but again it's small. I really didn't take any time to consider if he could be weak, maybe he's milking me, I don't know what he's got. I didn't think about anything. I just let the tilt take control and I snap called him again. Now the turn is the 9 of clubs, so there's God knows how many straights and flushes possible now. I check again, but this time they check behind. Oof. Now, I don't know what he had. I don't know if I would have called another bet on the river, but I'm glad I didn't have to consider it because I am on full tilt mode. I do end up winning the hand and clawing a few chips back. God knows how. So we've lost a few more players and are down to the final 2 tables. I've got about 30 bigs and sitting in 6th place. It's all right considering those 2 horrible beats I took. This time, action folds around to the button, who's the same player that turned the 2 pairs on me a few hands ago. They've given away the chips that I gave them, and they're now down to less than 10 bigs. They shove all in, and I've got a decision. Now, Queen 9 isn't a good hand, but I really want to call. One, because I could have live cards against their shoving range, so it gives me a shot. With their big bounty on the head, I want to be in with a chance of it. And secondly, Revenge has taken over me. I'm driven by revenge, and I want to take another chance to knock him out. Just because he got lucky against me last time. Right, let's do it. I shove all in to isolate the button, and luckily the big blind folds. Well, heads up to the flop, and I hit a pair. It's no good though, because there's an ace out there. Turns out the button's now got 3 of them and is way ahead. The turn gives me a glimmer of hope, but the river bricks out and I lose another ton of chips. The only difference here is that this one's my mistake. I was blinded by bounties and Revenge. I made a call that I really shouldn't have done. In the very next hand, under the gun opens and then action folds to me. With king queen off, I could easily raise here, but instead I just limp along for the ride. The small blind then immediately shoves in and he covers me. The original limper snap calls when action gets back to him. And let's be honest, I'm expecting him to turn over aces because we've seen this play God knows how many times before. I do fold and I see them turn over pocket 9s and ace king suited. And neither of them actually improve, and a queen comes on the river. Would have given me the winning hand. I just know deep inside now that the poker gods, they've turned against me. The blinds go up and I have to fold until just 11 players left. I get a pocket pair. Under the gun opens and action folds back to me. Now, if you look at my mouse here, you can see I don't have a clue what I'm supposed to do. It's probably just a shove all day, but for some reason I don't like it. I just make the call. The flop comes king 6-3 rainbow, and I check it to the undergun player. They almost straight away shove all in. Now, I don't think if they've hit the king, they play it like that. They're not going to want to play it so fast. They want to get value, right? So with second pair, I make the call. And I was right. They didn't hit the king, but they have shoved all in on the flop with pocket 9s. It's not much better than me, but it's enough, and I'm out the tournament.